I want to challenge your view on certain aspects of how you view the world. If that's not something that you're wanting to do, then I suggest clicking away from this video because it is going to go a little bit into metaphysics and just the way that our minds, I've been able to realize, seem to work, at least from my own personal experience, because that's really the only thing that I can attest to. If you guys are willing to have your beliefs questioned and what you understand to believe true, then I highly recommend you actually watching this whole video to the end. Over the past couple of months, I have been going through changes and shifts and seeing things in ways that I never really imagined to be possible. Because my entire life, I was led to believe that what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go through elementary school, middle school, high school, college, get a degree. Once you get the degree, you get the job. Once you have the job, you make the money. Once you make the money, you buy the real estate or you buy the house, you get married, you have kids, and you live a quiet life for the rest of your existence, essentially. And I've started to realize after reading tons of self-help books, after meditating, after journaling, after reflecting on my own mortality, essentially, and realizing and questioning a lot of other individuals about what they do for a living, how they got to the place that they wanted to get to. A lot of the people that I talked to didn't seem to have, I guess, they had what they needed to have, essentially. It's just the things that they were telling me wasn't the things that I wanted to be able to do within my own life, because it just felt too mundane. It felt too boring. And I've always wanted to be somebody that was able to do something that was spectacular, that was different, that was going somewhat against the status quo, because I never believed that I actually did fit in when I was younger. I was always kind of like essentially a black sheep, ostracized. I was able to make friends, don't get me wrong. I just never really had any long-term relationships with a lot of people because of my own, I guess, inner worth, and I knew what I was worth and I knew what I was capable of, even at a young age. I didn't really understand that until just recently. I've just come to realize that the things that I once believed to be true weren't actually true. They were just things that were passed down from, say, my parents, friends, family members, everybody else that was in my life, because that's all they knew. And when all you know is like, that's all you know. There's a saying of like, you don't know what you don't know. And then as I've started to learn and I've started to read and I've started to understand things in ways that I didn't originally understand, certain epiphanies, certain ways of thinking have kind of changed my overall view of the world, which has been something that I never really expected to happen. And that's why it's been a very, I guess, somewhat painful experience, but a gratifying experience nonetheless, because it's allowed for me to see that there are other options, that there are other choices, that there are other paths that I can take other than the standard status quo that my parents took, my grandparents took, my great-grandparents took. I can understand that, like, I have the freedom to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. I get to choose how I want to live my life. Is money an issue? Money can be an issue if I make it an issue. If I don't make it an issue and I just create what I want to create when I want to create it, I do genuinely believe that the right audience, the right people will be attracted to this audience, because I believe that there is a message that a lot of people are wanting to hear and have just yet to hear it, essentially. And that's why, like, I share these thoughts and these ideas, because they are a little bit out there. They are a little bit different. They are stranger than the things that most people are led to believe. And that's why, like, I had to leave my job. That's why I believe in hard choices make an easy life, and easy choices make a hard life. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you're able to build into certain aspects, or you're able to look at yourself from an objective standpoint, from an outside source, and treat yourself as if you were somebody that you actually truly cared for, I've realized that my world shifts. It shifts in ways that I never really cared to consider. Because a lot of the things that we do, a lot of the things that we see, a lot of the people that we meet are just a mirror of ourselves. And when we start to overcome those things and we start to question of like, okay, well, what is this person in my life trying to show me right now? What do I need to learn from this person? And then once I've been able to learn the things that I need to learn from that person, say not being so judgmental of other people, say accepting my sexuality as it is, realizing that I had certain conditioning that I had to break as a child, because when you're a child, it's just whatever somebody tells you, it's the things that you believe. And I've started to understand and realize that no matter what somebody else says, I am the one that gets to determine my own worth and my own values and my own principles, essentially. At the end of the day, I'm happy to have them questioned. I'm happy to have discussions around them. because I am always looking to learn and evolve in any way that I possibly can. It's been in through realizing that none of it is actually outside. It's just things that I see within myself that are reflecting directly back to me. And that's why nothing is actually real, is because everything that we see is just really us seeing ourselves. The places that we go, the things that we experience, the money that we make, the relationships that we have, they're there because those are just the things that we have within ourselves. And once are able to overcome those things and we're able to look inward and question, like, okay, where am I lacking? What do I need to do? How would I treat myself if this was my younger brother or younger sister or somebody that I cared for, my own little kid, whatever it may be? And once I've come to that realization, I've become a lot more free.